What's going on, Vault Dwellers? It's Top Ranking Noob, and I'm back at it again with another helpful video for Fallout 76. Hey, if you guys want to check out some cool Fallout 76 gear, make sure you head on over to U4GM. I'm going to be putting their link down in the description, along with a coupon code that's going to be saving you 5%. Yesterday we had a very large patch, and I wanted to take some time to talk about the effects that this has actually had in-game. So for this video, I'm actually going to be focusing on the cap stashes. If you've seen the patch notes, you probably realized that what they did was they've actually turned the cap stashes into containers. What that's going to do is it's going to make it to where you can only search them once per day until it resets for you. This is going to prevent us from doing those unlimited cap stash runs. And of course, they've also changed the way that the cap collector perk card works. Now, in the past, it would just kind of randomly give you more cap stashes every time you looted, but now what it's going to do is it's going to require you to search these containers a second time. Now, I've played around with this for the last day. I did it right after the release of the patch, and I've been doing it this morning before work. It doesn't seem to always work. You don't always get the option to search the container a second time, so it seems quite random. Another thing worth noting after the patch, not all the cap stashes seem to be spawning on each server, which seems kind of weird to me. The containers don't disappear anymore whenever you search them. So essentially another player can come up behind you and search the same container, just the same way every other container works. However, not all of these containers are spawning. Sometimes I had to server hop in order to find the container, so they're still disappearing one way or another. So it seems to me like this patch isn't really working the way it's supposed to when it comes to these cap stashes. For one, when you look at the perk card, when you compare it to the other perk cards, the perk cards that allow you to search the ammo cans a second time, or the food cans a second time, or the aid containers a second time, as long as you got that up to level 3, you're allowed to search each and every one of those. You just have up to an 80% chance of actually finding more items. It seems like the cap collector perk card should work exactly the same way, where you're able to search every single container a second time. In this case, though, it's only allowing us to search a second time on about half the containers. So it seems like this patch didn't quite work the way they had intended. So why aren't they always spawning if they don't disappear after somebody collects them? It actually took me 3 runs at the Poseidon Energy Plant before I was able to collect all of the different cap stashes that are available. So it's not like they've actually taken the cap stashes out of the game. It just seems like something's not quite working with this patch. Another thing they didn't address within the patch notes is what kind of effect is this patch going to have on the cap's bobblehead? Is this going to do anything for us moving forward? It's really hard to say. I mean, we can only speculate. Since everything is random, we can only assume that if we get extra caps, it has something to do with the cap's bobblehead. But seeing as how the other elements of this patch aren't working the way it seems like they should, it's hard to say whether this cap's bobblehead is even worth it anymore either. Hell, looking at the video, I just looted 2 stashes that only gave me 1 cap for each one, and only one of them allowed me to search it a second time. That's with the cap's bobblehead activated, so it doesn't really seem like it's doing much of anything to me. All in all, I think this latest patch has basically just ruined cap stashes at this point, unless they get this fixed. I mean, I get it to where they didn't want people to just sit there and farm them all day long, although I never really seen that as a big deal. Honestly, when we discovered these cap stash runs early on in the game, it's pretty much what generated an in-game economy in the first place. Prior to these runs, everyone was broke and no one was trading. Maybe they left it activated for long enough to actually stimulate the economy in-game. I don't know what their intention was. That would insinuate that they had some sort of plan. Honestly, I never thought that the cap stashes were a big enough deal to where it deserved a buff like this, or a patch like this, I should say. And the patch is just garbage. It's not working in... Honestly, this is just an example of something that they really need to fix. All they really did was completely ruin the cap stashes, and at this point, if they don't get it fixed, I think they were basically better off just taking them out of the game in general. Nonetheless, what I'll do is I'll create a video that shows all the different cap stash locations that I do, at least the ones that are consolidated in an area of the map to where it's worth fast traveling to. And the point of that will be just to see how many caps we can get per day on these runs still, now that we can only do the runs once. Honestly, though, just taking a brief look at what I've done so far, I think we're reverting back to the days where we're better off just selling Mothman eggs to the vendors. And for those of you that are new to the game or just started a new character, I would hesitate before spending any of those perk points on the Cap Collector perk card until they get that working. Because right now, with it only working about half the time and then Cap Stashes only spawning half the time, that perk card is borderline garbage. But that's all I got for you today. I know I usually try to make my videos good news, but in this case, all in all, I'd say it's just a bad news or a bad day for Cap Stashes. Nonetheless, I hope this video has been found helpful by you and it saves you a little bit of time before you go hunting down these Cap Stashes. If you did find it helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys watching and we'll see you all next time.